This is K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes. Hey, good evening everyone here on YouTube. Thanks for checking things out. We'll get started here in just a minute. This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL off.
NBC Television.
Good evening. Hello and welcome back. This is Daron, K1DBC. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. This is call sign K1DBC, Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. Again, my name is Daron, D-O-R-O-N, and I am Net Control. This is a casual conversation where we can discuss ham radio and STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined expertise and experience. We meet every Wednesday, except the third Wednesday of the month, at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset of 600 kilohertz, meaning you transmit on 144.890 or 448.025, respectively. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? You can also contact us via email at drclearningnet@gmail.com or hamlearningnet@groups.io. We also post information on groups.io/g/ham learning net, as well as stream and archive our nets on youtube.com/WEREGR8. You can also just do a simple search on YouTube for W0TX or my call sign K1DBC, and you should be able to find it.
W0TX repeater.
This is K1DBC Net Control. We will begin by inviting Elmers only to check in with or without traffic. All Elmers, please check in now.
Alpha 0, Juliet Kilo, AA0 JK, good evening.
Alpha Echo 0, Gulf, Quebec, Tom and Aurora AE0 GQ.
Hey, Tom. Good to hear you. All right, Net Control, I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following Elmers, AA0JK Fred and AE0GQ Tom. Thanks for checking out online as well. One more call at the moment. Anybody can really be an Elmer. There's really no requirements for it. If you consider yourself a subject matter expert in something, don't ever hesitate to chime in. That's essentially what an Elmer is, and just somebody who's willing to step up and help if they want. So once more, if you would like to check in as an Elmer with or without traffic, please call now. All right. We'll go ahead and invite general check-ins to the net. They will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. That would be the first letter after the number in your call sign. If you can, please try to use ITU phonetics as you check in and indicate if you have any traffic or questions as you do. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Bravo Kilo Sierra, Barb in Wheat Ridge. No traffic.
November 0, Echo Yankee Zulu, Jim and unincorporated Jeffco, no traffic.
Kilo 0, Bravo Alpha Tango, Art and Aurora, no traffic.
Good evening, Duran. Tom, Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, K6HJV, Arvada, no traffic.
Whiskey Delta 6, Delta Oscar Kilo, Rich in Arvada, no traffic. Good evening, Tom.
All right, Net Control, I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. W0BKS Barb, N0EYZ Jim, K0BAT Art, K6HJV Tom, and WD6 DOK Rich. Thank you all for checking in. Appreciate it. One more call. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Kilo 0, Lima Alpha India, K0 LEI, Larry in Lakewood. No traffic.
All right, and that time we had K0 LAI. Larry, thanks for checking in as well.
WD0CIB, WD0CIB, Charles in Denver, no traffic, and I might have checked in and at the wrong time, but anyway, back to Net Control.
Hey, no problem, Charles. WD0CIV got you checking in just fine. We'll go ahead and open up the whole alphabet. If your suffix begins with the letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu, please check in now with your name, call sign, and let us know if you have any traffic or questions. All right, another call. This is K1DBC Net Control. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, just for the counter, if any have traffic questions, you're more than welcome to do it online. I appreciate people checking in there. We just got N0TRP checking in there on the YouTube. But if you'd like to check in over the air, we're taking all call suffixes A through Z. Please call now. Got you checked in. Good to see you, Jim. And Mike, KE0OIT, got you checked in as well. All right, this is K1DBC online. We also had KE0OIT, Mike checking in as well. One more call just at the moment. Feel free to check in at any time, either over the YouTube or on the air. If there's just a break in the conversation, feel free to check in, just a lull. Feel free to jump in there. I'll take official check-ins more or less a couple times. But once more, we're taking the whole alphabet, A through Z, for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Let us know your call sign, suffix, and if you have any traffic or questions. Okay, with that then, a little bit of quiet evening, that's all right. Nice summer day, probably just a bit of activities going on. So again, don't ever be afraid to jump in if you haven't checked in just yet, if you want to say anything. I don't see anybody indicated they had any traffic or questions for the net. If I missed something, or if you've thought of something, any things that come up over the week, any ham radio related activities, or any questions or anything you want to speak about, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I guess I can get things kicked off here. Just some quick updates over this past weekend. We helped with our one of our served agencies, Salvation Army, within this event, the Mile High Hook and Ladder Club. They have the a fire muster and parade downtown Littleton that took place over the weekend. A lot of fun. there is, I really didn't take much media, unfortunately. One of the earlier videos I had put onto my YouTube was of that, if you want to check it out. Very brief, but old fire apparatus, and yeah, we had the Salvation Army canteen vehicle, and just, yeah, we were just passing out water. This is, so I'm showing a video, but this is not from this year, this is from 2019. Yeah, showing off the canteen vehicle, as well as, yeah, just a nice public safety event. Denver Aries was there, so s.t.e.m we've had in the past checking in here and part of our club. He was part of that, helping there, so we got to see each other, so that was kind of nice. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Hopefully if you've attended, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, really, really cool event. So this takes place, I guess, the third weekend of June, so it's probably going to be coming again 2022. So again, more info on them, milehighhookandladder.org.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1DBC. I definitely have some other things I can bring up, but once more at the moment, does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything you'd like to bring up for the net at the moment, please call now. Okay, might be a short evening, but that's okay. What else do we have? I guess skipping to a game that we have been playing here recently called What's That Sound? We one of the first times was RTTY RIDI. I'll try to play a brief thing of that here. And then we spoke about some other modes. One of the ones that we brought up the previous Learning Net on the 9th, June 9th, as well as on the Elmers session, we brought it up. It seemed to stump people as well. So it was, I almost spoiled it on the Learning Net, the previous Learning Net, as well as the Elmers session. But if you didn't hear, that was, we did reveal it on the Elmers session as D-Star. So it was a really funky noise. I'll play it again here, and this is D-Star. So D-Star is the digital voice protocol used by ham radio, and it's routed over the internet. So that is the analog version of that mode. So that is what we heard. So we can play that game again here this time. Hopefully I didn't give it away, but I will play a noise. It is an older codec or mode, but it is a fairly popular mode. So I'll go ahead and play it. Feel free to chime in over the air or online if you think you know what it is. Again, there's no prizes for this, kind of just pride, but we'll check out what we think this one is. And then Mike K0IT had put in a question here. I'll come back to that here in a second. That one was a bit quieter, but it is a fairly popular mode, and one we've spoken about in the past here. So I'll play it once more here, and let me know. Yes, it was. All right, good guess here from the chat, Tom. I guess I didn't write down your AE0GQ. Tom had guessed that. That was Hellschreiber, also known as Feldheld. So that is a 1920s teleprinter system developed by Rudolf Hell. A German inventor, physically prints characters onto the screen, unlike other modern teletype models which encode and decode signals. Feldhell and its variants, Slowhell, use on-off keying, where Feldhell 80, the last original Hell mode, designed in the 70s, uses 2 FSK modulation, and the FSK Hell modes use 2 DMSK. So we've talked about FSK. We talked about briefly GMSK, which was in one of the modes we had spoken about. I forget what that one stands for. Gaussian, maybe. Gaussian. Gaussian minimum shift keying. And then now we have DMSK, differential minimum key shift. Key shifting, excuse me. So different modes, different baud rates, typing speeds vary 25 to 100 and something words per minute, or it looks like 2 to 125. So yeah, very, very cool. Great guess here. You get the prize. You get the prize. Yep. So again, I'm finding a lot of these over on a website, pretty cool website, sigidwiki.com, as in signal identification wikis. sigidwiki.com. You can see waterfalls and hear what it sounds like, and get a lot more information on these modes. So hopefully we'll get a prize here going, because I'm glad to be able to that you guys are able to figure these things out.
Could you give that website again, K7IRC?
Yes, of course. Sierra, Indigo, Golf, Indigo Delta, Wiki, WIKI.com. SIGID, WIKI.com.
Got it. Thanks. Appreciate it. K7IRC.
Perfect. Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, next week we'll come back to it. And hopefully I can snuff you then. We'll see. So, yeah, thanks for playing that. And I guess I'll throw it over to, Mike, KE0OIT Online had a question. First one is, he used to be able to check into this net nets via their 5 watt HT, but this spring they're unable to. They're hearing great difficulty, so they're wondering if anybody has any information. Yeah, the repeaters haven't changed location. I definitely know a few people check in here with handhelds. Has anybody had any issues recently within the last few months checking in to our nets or any other repeater-based nets or anything like that in the Denver metro area? Let me know. And let me know what the second question is, Mike, too. I'll throw that out as well. All right, this is K1DBC. I guess as an experiment, I can just check in with my HT here real quick and see what happens. Let me see.
Simmons 5 Hot, Inglewood. Hear myself back. A bit staticky, but it's okay. K1 DBC.
W0TX Repeater.
Comment, AA0JK.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, go ahead with the comment, A0JK. Fred, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, what model radio is he using, and how did he program it?
Good questions here. He hasn't come back just yet, but Mike, K0IT, if you can repeat or respond back online or over the air, let us know any model of the handheld, as well as that second question there, and then yeah, if we need to check the repeater settings, you can always do that online. Yeah, we'll wait here for just a moment. Perfect. He came back here. Yaesu VX6 and using RT Systems is the software and radio.
He should be good. Location, AA0JK.
All right. Sounds good there. Thanks there, Fred. Yeah, it looks like he is based in Littleton. Should have pretty good coverage to the repeater system. As long as you have kind of line of sight, more or less, to some of the early peaks, you should be able to get in. Yeah, and that's pretty good software. Pretty easy to use. Yeah, you and I are not too far away, really. And our repeater is yeah, just north of Genesee here, Centennial Cone Park. If it's this net, Chatfield, south of Botanic. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Has anybody else had any other issues recently with your radios? I mean, yeah, as we mentioned, you receive on 145.490, and then it's minus 600 kilohertz off. That means you transmit on 144.8 or 890. And then we have the PL tone is even removed. You don't even have to have a transmit tone during this net or our nets, so shouldn't have much of an issue. I don't know. Have you tried this evening? I guess if you want to try this evening, we can give you a signal report and let you know what's going on, Mike. All right, we'll see what he comes back with here. Yeah, I know during the winter season, there's sometimes some impairments to the repeaters. Potentially, I don't know how the repeaters handle the heat. We've definitely been having a heat wave, that's for sure. But I know people are using our repeaters, and other groups are using their repeaters in similar areas. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, with that, I'll throw it out again to the net. Anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything you'd like to bring up for the net so far this evening? Please go on there.
Question, AA0JK.
Yeah, go ahead with a question.
Yeah, is this the only repeater he has problems with? Does he operate his handheld on other repeaters successfully?
Great question as well. Yep. What repeaters are having the issue? Is it just these ones? Yeah, great question on that. Yeah, so yeah, if you want to chime in at any point, Mike, feel free to. If not, no worries. Okay, this is K1DBC. I'll go ahead and just take this opportunity to take official check-ins.
Kilo Echo 0, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan, Lake check-in.
All right, KE0, S.t.e.m, Jonathan, thanks for checking in. If you have just tuned in, this is K1DBC, Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie Drone. I am Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. It's an on-air meeting for radio amateurs seeking help, and Elmers giving their time to help us. Everyone is welcome to join in. If there is anyone who wishes to check in at this time, please do so with your call sign. If you can, using IT Phonetics, your name and state. If you have any traffic or questions for the net, please call now.
N0 EYZ with a question.
All right, N0EYZ with a question. I'll come back to here in just a moment. I'll take any other check-ins at the moment. Anyone wants to check in at the moment, please call now. Okay, real quick, Mike K0IT had put in the chat here, RMRL repeaters seem okay, but W0TX repeaters seem the worst from his QTH, so it just seems like an interesting issue there. Though, with that, N0EYZ, Jim with a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking the net. What's the status of our 1.25 centimeter repeater, and where are the antennas located?
Good question. The 1.25 meters, it's the 224.380 megahertz. That is located on Green Mountain, just outside of West Metro Fire Station 4. It looks like I-70 and 470 or so, just before that. I don't know the specific status of that. Excuse me, I don't have equipment to check that. Does anybody know, though, if that repeater is in operation? It's 1.25 meters, 224.380 megahertz.
The silence is deafening.
Yep. Yep. And I guess that kind of answers that maybe a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of an odd band there. Not too much equipment handles that. I know you have to have sometimes separate radios. Some radios as tri-band sometimes include that band. I know some of the Anytones, the Anytone 878s, 868s, they receive that. So if you do have an Anytone, I believe you can. I think now the manufacturer's allowed just for official reception of that band, so you can receive that. And if you have a software-defined radio, it's probably also possible to listen to that as well. So once more, I'll throw it out to the net. Anybody use the 1.25 meter repeater or know the status of it? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good band. I used that in Italy in the 60s, running from Heidelberg to Naples, and how we ever kept it together, I never know, but it's a good band, and I want to use it.
W0TX repeater.
Comment AE0GQ.
All right, sounds good there. UIZ, yeah, AQ, or AE0GQ. Tom, go ahead.
The number of radios that actually transmit in that band are pretty limited. However, the Anytone 578, which is their mobile, is a tri-band, and it does include that one. It will talk. I've never been able to read anybody on that band ever, so I've sort of given up. Second thing is, I believe I heard Jerry, I think, like last meeting or meeting before, talk briefly about that it was down, but they were working on trying to get it back up. And I'm not going to swear to that one, but I think I heard that conversation at one of the meetings. Back to net, A0GQ.
All right, perfect. Thanks there, Tom, GQ, for the follow-up there. Yeah, I remember at some point we've had some recent conversation about that. Yeah, and as you mentioned, I forgot. Yeah, the 578 UV does include that as a band. I think it's 25 watts. I'm trying to just bring it up here. It's not too powerful, maybe 50 watts. But yeah, it seems quite limited. But yeah, it's be able to use that. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you have a radio capable of transmitting on that, I would just say key up on it and see if it comes back with any sort of any tones or anything, and see what it does. It should have something come back if you key it up.
Yeah, I've got a Yaesu and a Bofang hand HTs that I can hit the CRA repeater with it, so I was just wondering about it. DRC, so N0 was it. Thanks for the info and the update.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we'll see if we can try to bring that up here over the weekend field day. We'll probably be speaking about that and any other things. I might bring that up. Yeah, very, very cool. All right, one more time at the moment. Does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net? We have about 30 minutes left, so plenty of time. Let me know. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Just scrolling over the website, reddit.com /r/amateur radio. Really popular website in general and really pretty niche topics. It's nice. So see, popular over there right now is the ISS is doing the slow scan television, which we've talked about in the past. You can basically get an app on your phone and receive images from the International Space Station. If you just have a phone and an HT, excuse me. So yeah, just regular bands. You kind of just have to know when it's coming over. Plenty of resources for that, and you can get an image from the International Space Station. It's more or less put on by RS-0ISS, the Russian cosmonauts, and as well as the NA-1SS. So very, very cool. Yeah. Once more at the moment, does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up so far for the net? Please call now.
KE0SUM, question.
Yeah, KE0SUM. Jonathan, go ahead.
Apologize for missing the first half hour, so you've probably already covered it, but I was on a net the other night. We were talking about exactly where Prospect Park was in Arvada Wheat Ridge, and I was quite sure it was just south of 44th, but the directions online or the map that showed up on Denver Radio Club kind of showed up like Bay 52nd. I wondered if that had been clarified or if I just got that wrong. KE0SUM, back to net.
I didn't get the exact location which you mentioned, but I believe what might be the issue is there's a Prospect Park, and then separately we're actually at Prospect Arena. The address for that is 13805 West 52nd Avenue. So that might have been the confusion. We're in the arena, not the park.
Oh, thanks, Jerome. No, I used to live in that area, and I immediately thought of the park because I don't know that I saw arena. Maybe I just didn't look close enough. Thanks for the info. Back to that.
All right, sounds good. No problem. Yeah, I guess we can talk about field day here for a few minutes. More info, yeah, again on W0TX.org. On the front page there's a link for field day activities, some information there, as well as a link to my website with a little bit more information. But excuse me. Starts on field day proper starts around 12 p.m. Mountain is when we start operating on Saturday. My website's not working right now. You can show up if you would like to camp overnight via camper or via tent. You can show up starting probably around late afternoon Friday, 3 or 4 p.m. or so. We want to make sure we have things signed up and posted. Yeah, we should have a lot of fun this year. Events, the operations again start 12 p.m. Mountain on Saturday through 3 p.m. Mountain on Sunday. There is going to be a lot going on. Myself and Mark N0XRX have been doing a lot to make sure that this event hopefully goes off pretty well. So please feel free to come hang out. Definitely check in on, you don't have to check in necessarily, but definitely listen in and or asking any questions on our on this frequency here right now that you're listening to right now. The talk-in frequency is 145-490-448.625. If you have any questions about anything that's going on, we'll have a map of kind of what to do, some events, and if you have any want or need to help out at all, don't ever hesitate to ask. So, yeah, the field day this Saturday and Sunday. If you're going to camp, feel free to come by Friday late afternoon, evening, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, field day in general. More info on arl.org/field day, June 26th and 27th.
Another comment, AE0GQ.
Yeah, no problem. AE0GQ. Go ahead.
Okay, this is for Mike, KE0OIT. And boy, that would be hard to write and so on. You have my sympathy, sir, for that one. Hard to figure out what it says. Anyhow, the fact that your HT is working with other repeaters but not working as well on W0TX would indicate it's a problem, obviously, between your HT and that particular repeater, and your HT has no issue. Let it drop for a moment. In your original question, you mentioned propagation. And when you're talking about VHF frequencies, yeah, propagation, of course, covers a lot of sins, but no, it's nothing to do with solar cycles or anything like that. Yes, there is propagation. There's weird things called like tropospheric ducting and other strange and wondrous things at that frequency, but that's really not what will hit you. However, there is one thing that happens in the spring and summer, which does not happen in the winter, that may have some impact at your location. And that happens to be greenery. Now, the higher the frequency, the more the impact. Where it really comes in nasty is like cell phone frequencies that are at the starting off at the 1 gigahertz and stuff. But it does impact even down at VHF, even at the 145 range that we happen to be using right now. It can, when the trees leaf out, you can actually lose some of your signal. And that may possibly be part of the impact that you're having. The question would be, is it interesting? Did you start noticing this when things started to green up? And that's all that I have. Back to net, AE0GQ.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, very interesting information there, Tom, A0GQ, about, yeah, that would make sense. I mean, we've talked about trees in general. They hold a lot of water, so I guess as greenery occurs, you get less line of sight potentially. So that's interesting to think about there. Yeah, really, really neat. Let's see what else he followed up with here. He mentioned his location at Holland and Garland, and he was mentioning coverage is always better as he moves from home, but seems worse than this year. Really, really interesting.
JK, comment.
A0JK, Fred, go ahead.
Yeah, N0EYE, Jim, I believe, was the one who was asking about the 1.25. I'm currently on the frequency now, and the repeater seems to be activating. Is he in a position there to give a call?
November 0, Echo Yankee Zulu. Thanks for the comeback. No, I can't right now. I'm on this frequency, but I'll sure check it out. I appreciate the info, and thank you very much, because I've got a straight shot to Green Mountain.
Comment?
All right, sounds good there, Fred, for the information. Yeah, it sounds good there, EYZ as well. Yeah, comment, go ahead.
K7IRC. I just went through and I could key up 1.25 repeaters on 224.000, 020, 740, and 840. I didn't have the 380 programmed in, so I couldn't try that one.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear
Good to know there's life on 220 N0EYZ, because I really want to get on there and make some contacts. Thanks a lot for the info.
Okay, thanks everyone for the follow-up there on our 224 repeater, that 1.25 meter repeater. Yeah, it sounds like it is active. So yeah, feel free to test it out after the air, or after the net, or whatever. Mike K0IT came back here a little bit. He said he just actually tried to check in on 145 or 448 just a moment ago, and wasn't able to get through. Yeah, I didn't hear you either. He says he can hear on 448, but he says 145 is broken up. He's using a 5/8 wave Diamond X50 on his HT. So yeah, I believe that's a model we've spoken about in the past. Yeah, good conversations here. Wow.
Question, K7IRC.
Yeah, K7IRC, go ahead. And FSY, I got
What
to
is
check
the
in.
frequency? Is that 223.380 of the 1.25 meter repeater you were talking about?
Yeah, no problem. Again, all of our repeaters are on our website, W0TX.org. There's a repeater listings page, but it is 224.380 with a negative 1.6 megahertz offset.
Does it use a tone or anything?
Sorry, yes, it does use our normal 100 hertz tone.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. I'll get that one put in mine, K7IRC.
My head was blocking it. Sorry about that. All right, sounds good. We also had another check-in here, Daniel, KF0FSY checking in online. Appreciate that. Thanks so much. I guess, yeah, at the moment, does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for the net about we've spoken about so far or anything else? Please call now.
This is N0EYZ. Thanks a lot for the information on my favorite band that I was on back in Italy in the Army in the early 60s. So I hope to get more active on that band and hope more people get on it. N0EYZ, Claire.
Well, you'll mostly hear silence there.
I know.
I haven't heard any Italian stations.
Well, we were running anywhere from 100 to 1,000 watts on 220 back then in the 60s. And I don't know how we got over Austria, but and nobody would ever tell me. I guess my clearance was good enough.
Okay. You had a real good toy there to play with. I was just kidding about Italy.
Buongiorno.
Very good. Hey, A0JK.
Another comment for you, Daron, A0GQ.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say check out the 1.25 meter band on Wikipedia. There's looks like they mentioned that has a very long and colorful history dating back before World War II. So yeah, a lot of information on there. Yeah, Tom, A0GQ, go ahead.
I was going to go back and talk briefly about Feld Hellschreiber. I get the Denver Gazette. They have pages from the original Rocky Mountain News that they publish each day. That would be 100 years ago. They're doing like 1930, but one of them happened to be a little bit newer. It was when the Russians were approaching Berlin at the end of World War II, and I noticed that the intelligence reported in the newspaper was that the Germans were beginning to panic because they picked it up from Feld Hellschreiber transmissions from the Germans. So they were still busy using it in World War II.
W0TX repeater.
The other thing is there is something called the Feld Hell Club, which you can Google. They are active. They are starting to actually have nets. They have sprints. You can use FL Digi does a very nice job of handling all of the Feld modes, although it tends to be Feld rather than the narrower, the newer modes, if you will. The only thing is when you see it coming across, you're going to see the text print out like it's on a ticker tape, on a one of those labelers almost. That's the way it shows up on your screen. Not as text that you could copy and paste, but rather as a picture, because that's actually how it worked. And don't be surprised when you see it that there are two lines, and possibly what you'll see is the bottom half of one, and you'll see like half on the top. The middle will be complete, and then the bottom will be part. And the reason for that was that in the original mechanical equipment that did this thing, they had to do that to keep, because of phase changes, syncing problems. It's still a fun mode to use, and it doesn't, it's closer to CW as far as its power use than anything else. AE0GQ.
Very cool. Yeah, thanks for bringing up a little bit history of that. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, Feld Hell. Yeah, quite a storied history as well, and yeah, interesting to know that they were operating even still there. And yeah, as you mentioned, instead of a traditional waterfall and or things that you wouldn't be able to see or read, this is human readable text that comes over through the transmission in the waterfall, I guess technically. So yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, Fell to Hell group, the Fell to Hell Challenge, or Fell to Hell Club. It looks like they have a Google group, but you can just Google that, and they have some sprints and rules and things like that, and the different times and frequencies. Everything is listed on there. So yeah, and I know we have the Colorado Colorado QRP Club. .org is their website. They're quite into that as well, and very similar to that. Yeah, so very, very cool. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. We don't have a hard stop, but we normally end in about 10 minutes. But with that, though, does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I can bring up a couple things and bring it back to the net, and we'll see if there's anything else. Great blog to read that we like to bring up quite a bit. RTL, Romeo Tango Lima, -SDR, Sierra Delta Romeo.com. That stands for Real Tech and then Software Defined Radio. Again, RTL-SDR.com. It's a blog that features news and projects about software defined radio. A lot of cool projects on there. Let me see here. One I was going to speak about specifically was an article entitled Carbolite, a 30 to 6,000 megahertz, 6 gigahertz, 13-bit 4 megahertz software-defined radio hat for the Raspberry Pi. So news comes in. Caribou Light will be crowdfunded or over on Crowd Supply. Let's see, I don't know the specific cost. I'll probably speak about that. You can find that over on crowdsupply.com. Caribou, CARIBOULITE. It's a product they have coming out. It's essentially a Raspberry Pi add-on hat that enables up to 6 gigahertz software-defined capabilities, transmit and receive, and an additional sub-1 gigahertz channel. It uses a modem or a microchip AT86 RF215 chip for IQ analog to digital and digital analog. It's done using a frequency conversion. He's using another processor and an FPGA we've talked about in the past, similar to I forgot the other term. But yeah, very, very cool looking project here. Another use of an SMI interface. It allows up to 500 megabits of data to be exchanged between the board and the Pi, up to 4 megahertz of bandwidth. Yeah, a really pretty interesting project. We haven't seen too many transmitting software-defined radios in cheaper prices, but this is a pretty interesting project. I guess from their website, it's an open source dual channel software defined radio platform and Raspberry Pi extension. Your Raspberry Pi computers becomes a self-contained dual channel radio, transmit and receive spanning a wide tunable frequency up to 6 gigahertz. Easy to control, modify, program through the Raspberry Pi using their software, all contained online. It's built for makers, hackers, educators, and researchers, and is designed to complement the current software-defined radio ecosystem as a high-quality, affordable, standalone SDR building block for the Raspberry Pi computer. All right. What else here? Again, more over on RTL-SDR for that, and as well as a bunch of other really cool projects. One entitled SDR for Space, Software Tools for Software-Defined Radio-Based Satellite Ground Stations. A provider of ground station receiver hardware and software that released a free feature limited on their website. It's a command line tool using scripts. You can write your own scripts to record IQ samples, predict satellite passes, start recording. If you want to set up kind of an automated satellite ground station receiver, pretty interesting project here. All right. What else? Late news. Another great blog here. Hackaday.com. General information about electrical engineering, computer science. A lot of radio stuff. One of the top article here is John McAfee has passed away. So he was found in his prison cell. So more information on that on Hackaday, and as well as I'm sure all over the internet tomorrow. So really interesting character, born in 1945, entered into nascent computer industry, began with a degree in mathematics, followed by choice assignments at Xerox PARC, NASA, Univac, Booz Allen Hamilton, Lockheed. Impressive resume, programming skills, and in the mid-1980s, he found infected a boot sector, he basically went on to create a security company after his own namesake. So, he's led a really interesting life, and especially in the last decade or so, a lot of weird, interesting news articles, but unfortunately, he has passed.
W0TX Repeater.
And on that downer, I'm just kidding. With that though, I'll throw it back out to the net. Does anybody else have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now.
In zero, EYZ, I appreciate what you're doing and lots of good information. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much there, UIZ, K1DBC. I appreciate that. Yeah, glad to be able to provide this service for the Denver Radio Club, and hopefully it provides sort of a model for how anybody else can kind of jump in and do that if they so wish. Kind of just got to read things off and just keep conversation going. So very, very cool. I guess with that, once more, at the moment, does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now.
W0 Fox Charlie, Jerry, no traffic, signing in late.
Okay.
All right, W0FFC, Jerry, got you checked in, no problem. DOK, Rich, go ahead.
Yeah, could I give Fred a call? I'll open the window. 80 checking. Hey, can I give you a landline after the net? WD60, okay. Oh, I have to do some rewiring. Hardline. Is that a yes or a no? Affirmative. Call away. 80 JK. 60, okay.
All right, a bit of brevity there, no problem. Yeah, I think last stepped over each other, but he did say that was okay for landline, no problem. Okay, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. I guess I'll probably start to wrap things up there then. Again, upcoming event, in-person event this weekend, June 26th, 27th. More info on our club website, W0TX.org. It is in the Arvada area. I don't know why they didn't just put the address there. It takes place at the Prospect Arena at 13805 West 52nd Avenue in Arvada. Please come hang out. We'll be there all weekend. If you want to camp overnight, you can start showing up Friday afternoon, late afternoon, evening. We'll have signage for where to park and where to set up. It should be a fun event. Hopefully, we'll have some good weather. Maybe a little bit of rain. We'll see the forecasts. We'll be erecting the antenna potentially Friday evening. I know I mentioned it was going to be Saturday morning, so we'll see. I guess always, as mentioned, listen to this frequency, the 145.490 or 448.625. We'll be using as the I forget the terminology there, but check in there just to see what's going on if you have any questions, because that will be an easy way to get your questions answered. We'll have food, we'll have fun, so come hang out. Okay, then, I guess this will be the last final call. Does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net this evening? Please call now. Not at all, Tom. Appreciate it. Not at all. All right. With that, then, yeah, I definitely appreciate people starting to check in online over YouTube. Again, I started broadcasting on YouTube just to show people what the net control perspective looks like, kind of what I do. It's turned into a little bit more, but you can always check in on there if you're not in the Denver metro area, or if you're not in front of a radio, or if you just want to see the video perspective. It's also archived on YouTube, so if you had any questions about what was brought up or anything, you can always just go on it's youtube.com/WEREGR8. But if you do a search on YouTube for W0TX, our club call sign, or K1DBC, my call sign, you should be able to find it there as well. So, yeah, appreciate everyone checking in. I will start to wrap things up then. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Again, this is not... you don't have to do this, but if you'd like to, you can always email us for topic suggestions or to set a date to act as net control operator or guest Elmer. Again, that's drclearningnet@gmail.com. We also have a groups.io /g/ham learning net. We post information on check-ins and past topics on there as well. And again, more info on our club, W0TX.org.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead with the comment.
K0SUM. Drone, I hate to nitpick, but I took the time to have been looking around Prospect Arena, Arvada, West 52nd, and I don't see where there's any camping available. I don't know. I was just kind of curious about that. KU0SUM, back to net.
Hey, no problem. Fair question. Yep, it is. Any other given day, it's an equestrian arena. But they are allowing, I think in the contract, even other people can camp overnight. So it is, camping will be, there's a very large entrance and parking lot area. And I apologize that I hadn't sent out much to the club yet, but there will be a map sent out with where to park, where to camp, etc. basically campers will be towards the or RVs will be towards the middle of the field, and then the middle of this large area towards the middle here, and then any other tent campers or car campers will be towards the residential neighborhood, and then all operations will take place within this teardrop in the middle here. Pretty large area. This is again normally used for equestrian and horse events, things like that. So large area. We have this entire arena as well, so we have plenty of area to branch out if we need to as well.
Oh, very good. So basically, they're kicking the horses out and putting in hams. Yeah, I didn't realize the equestrian area was going to be used for that. Thanks for the information. KE0SUM.
Yep, hams for horses this weekend. Yep, Mark N0XRX, who's been helping with this, lives around this area as well, and has brought up this location to us and worked with them, and has done a lot of work, so a lot of help. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a really good field day this year, and yeah, hope to see everyone out there.
W0TX Repeater.
Okay, I guess I'll do one final call. Any other comments, questions on field day or anything else on that? Go ahead. That's probably a bad idea. Okay. More up-to-date info, W0TX.org, K1DBC.com. We'll have a map of where to park, where to situate yourself. If you're going to come out and hang out, please try to bring, I know it sounds kind of silly, try to bring a chair if you want to sit, because there might not be one available for you, but we'll have plenty of areas to hang out and operate and things like that. Okay, so this evening we had a total of 15 check-ins, I believe. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody there. Appreciate everyone who checked in, especially I appreciate our Elmers. Yeah, and thanks for Tom checking in as Elmer as well. Yeah, don't ever hesitate. It's an Elmer is just a title. Anybody can really be an Elmer, a subject matter expert of anything. So don't ever hesitate to check in. Is that very thankful to the Denver Radio Club for allowing us to use the repeaters for this net. We invite you to join us on the third Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. for an Elmer session prior to the regularly scheduled Denver Radio Club meeting at 7 p.m. Currently, this takes place online, but I guess maybe we'll see what happens here in the future. The Jeffco Administration Courts building might open up here soon. So all online, W0TX.org. Everyone is welcome to that. All right, please join us next week, 1930 hours, 7:30 p.m. Mountain, for the next Learning Net. All stations, please stand by while the repeaters are placed into normal mode.
PL on.
All right, this is K1DBC. Hopefully everyone's doing well wherever you're at in the world. And yeah, we'll see you all next week, and we'll do this again. So everyone take care. This is K1DBC 7-3, and I'll see you next time. All right, everyone. Thanks for checking out things on here. Yeah, we'll see you on the weekend for the field day, and we'll see you all next week. Everyone, take care. We'll do this one last thing here. Let's see.
NBC Television.
I like that. Take care.